Yeeer, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Black Trey from Yeeer Network, bringing you another one, man. So I'm here. So what we're going through today, man. I just seen the creator, and I've been looking around online, um, and it's kind of funny because I'm just like looking at the reactions for a lot of the comments and just the reviews, and the complaint that I hear a lot of people make, I think the creator has. But let me get into what I think about this movie, and we're gonna go into the different parts of the different elements of the movie, and basically I'm gonna grade it. I've seen it twice at this point, so I just wanna put a review out there, to give it some just due to see, whether was it good, is it deserving of the highly critical nature of that I see people going through on this one. I'm not too sure. All right, but first off, the creator, it was made by Gareth Edwards, I think the director is. He did, from what I'm gathering, he did Rogue One, and I think the Rogue One is credited to someone else. So I think he did most of the movie, and then they took him off of it. So I don't know. And then it says Chris Weitz also has writing credits on this. It's starring John David Washington, George Denzel Washington's son, Madeline Voyles, as she plays Alfie. I'm not gonna get into spoilers. And Gemma Chan is Maya. The supporting cast is pretty cool, and the big bad enemy in this one is Allison Janney. So here's what we got. All right, so starting off with visuals, I'm gonna say the visuals were, I would say, a 10 out of 10. I believe that they went to China or Asia, or I'm not sure the exact location, but it was an Asian country. And they really, the dude, he was out there with $4,000 cameras, which is not the standard of what Hollywood likes to do. But he was out there, I like his style of how he captures filming. It was a very good mixture of graphic CGI. You couldn't even really tell at some points. Whoever was working on this film, man, they got some skills and talent when it comes to CGI. So Marvel, you need to take note, because these guys really knocked it out of the park with the visuals. So on the visuals, I definitely give it a 10 out of 10. Now the plot, I think although it's a plot that we may have seen in plenty of movies before, I mean, it's only so much that you can do. Just in terms of so much media comes out, you're gonna get similar plots, especially in sci-fi. So, technically, if you think about it, you've probably seen an iteration of this movie before, something to that, and to that extent. But I really did like the plot. I enjoyed it. Though my only issue, there's without spoiling anything, there's an event towards the climax of the movie where they decide to go meet up with whoever they were looking for, and the reasoning that they give, it just didn't make sense to me. So that kind of just knocked it down a few notches, because it just didn't make sense why they would do that, because it just turned the movie into another thing. Even though it would have still probably ended the same way, their reasoning behind how he explained it, it just didn't sit well with me. So I knocked it down a few pegs for that. So at plot, I'm at around an 8. I thought it was a solid plot. I did like it. I liked everything surrounding the plot, but it was just that one thing that really just threw me off. Now, when it comes to the characters and the acting, I had a couple different grades, but when it comes down to the grades, I'm gonna go with the lowest, because it wouldn't be fair for me to go with the ceiling, as I would be more remiss to go with the floor, because I think going with the floor would give it a better criticism, so that in the future they may be able to do a better job with just fixing these sort of issues. So what I would say is with the acting. Now, in the beginning of the movie, like for like the first like half hour or so, maybe like 40 minutes, I thought John David Washington, I thought his acting was actually subpar. Um, Once you got introduced to a lot of the other characters and they started like carrying the movie, especially the young girl playing Alfie, and you see their dynamic growing, and he started to get into character. I think once he warmed up, it got a lot better throughout. But initially, I was like, yeah, this is kind of rough. It was about a 6 for me. The kid, Alfie, she was like an 8 or 9. I really liked her dynamic, the questions she asked, her power set was insane. Yeah, it was dope. I like that. And then the other characters, Maya, the bad guy, man, Colonel Howard. She's played by Allison Janney. She was a beast, bro. Even though it was like, some of the stuff, like there were little elements that I could have nitpicked, but I liked her a lot. Like, what I mean? That's where you get your strong female character. She's a general. She don't play. You know what I mean? She gets it done. And I was like, that I liked where they went with that. Towards the end, I didn't really like how it was handled, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. But we're going with the floor on this one, so with acting, I would give it about a 6. Now, the world building, man, the way they just like explain it was very simple. Why there was a war, why the humans are basically going and basically the rooting out all of the I guess the robots or AI, whatever they call them. I forgot. They're like, so it was like it would be plot spoiler. I'm not gonna do that. But the way that they just show like how like the AI and the robots are like prejudiced. Like they people like really hate them, and it's like insane when you see like the conditions that they're living in, and they make you feel bad for the AI, which is kind of crazy, because I'm just like, wow, and I could see that happening. It's just like as the movie's progressing, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, yeah, we are actually going further and further in this direction. I definitely give the world building a 10. I really liked how they brought everything together. And there's certain like little aspects like little AI dogs and little AI monkeys that would like, they were acting as if they were characters. And it was like really insane to see because they would do smart things like setting off bombs, and it was crazy. I'll just say that. Now the practicality. Now, for the most part, I thought the practicality of the movie, like how realistic it would be, how it would unfold, like if this was like a real situation. And for the most part, I think it was fairly, I think, practical for a sense. I gave it about a 7 on the practicality because there's certain things towards the end where I think it started to like wane a little bit, started to fall apart. But you know what? People aren't perfect, and to ask for a perfect movie where everybody makes the perfect decisions, it's like on the fly, like you get thrusted into this situation, and it's just like, I don't know if I could have came up with a better option myself to handle the situation. So it's like, all right, practically, I would lean higher to the 7, but when I just think about all the holes, I mean, I would lean more to an 8, but when I'm thinking of all the holes, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stick to a 7. Now the ending, without spoiling anything, I thought it was okay. I think they could have, I think there was a way where they could have had even a happier ending, and I would have, like with the investment, but I see where they were coming from, and if it would have had a happier ending, it probably wouldn't have sat well with a lot of people. But I think like the ending that they went with also isn't sitting well with people. So for me personally, I would have preferred if they would have went the opposite way, or at least like when the Blu-ray or the DVDs come out where they can give like an alternate ending. And if they do end up going the direction that I'm thinking they should, I would look at that as canon, because not always we get the ending that we want. We end up dealing with the repercussions of bad situations, and nobody comes out on top. And then just last category I'm rating it is just the freshness. Like, how fresh is this? With all the media that's been coming out and all the messaging, like when you get something like this, do you feel as if this was completely entertainment, or do you feel like it was more homework and a chore to get through? Because sometimes, you know, watching certain things, like I would say, at this moment, the Ahsoka, you know, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so the Ahsoka, it feels more like homework. Like there's some elements that do feel fresh, but you know, it's just you've been jaded for so long. Like, how fresh does this make it? And for me, this was actually a really fresh take. It was just a dope movie, dope visuals, the acting. You know what I mean? It was like the acting was okay, but it was like I've seen movies that were like worse than this, and I enjoyed more just because it was just a fresh take on stuff, and I really enjoyed that. So with the freshness, I'll say, especially with how there's been a lack of like really good cinema lately or media lately. But as of late, actually, I'm surprised because there have been some things coming out. Like I would say the One Piece, the Continental was like really good, which just dropped around the same time. And there's another Creation of the Gods that is a Chinese film, which is like their highest budget Chinese film, and it looks really good. So that's gonna be the next thing that I'm gonna go check out. So there's definitely fresh takes. I've been into anime for a little bit, but there's certain things that keep me here. The Changeling is actually really good. There's a lot of quality stuff on Apple Plus. So, you know, there are gems, and I would say that there are people who are out there really giving you the good stuff. So when it comes down to a grade overall, while I disagree with a lot of people, I'm going with an 82. So I just averaged out all the grades that I gave it. So that's 10 visuals, 8 on the plot, 6 on the acting, which is the lower side, which comes mostly from John David Washington. The world building a 10, practicality a 7, the ending roughly about a 7, and the freshness of it a 9. So it's 82. That's about a B. In leaving the theater, I was at like an A. Like you know what I mean? Like I love the film. But when I just sit down and break it down, I'm like, yeah, it's at about a B, and that's good. You know what I mean? Because for me, it may be just a good movie that every once in a while I may decide like I want to put on and just get the feel for it. And seeing it in the movie theaters on that big screen made it all the more better, man. I definitely recommend seeing this in the theaters. It's a really good movie, man. So just let me know what your thoughts are, how you guys feel about this one. You know, are you going to check it out? Yeah, leave a comment and let me know what you thought about it, man. Absolutely. It's your boy Black Trey. Listen up, man. For all you guys that's been watching the videos, I appreciate you guys. But let me get a like, follow, comment. You know, join us, talk to us. We're trying to do it for the algorithm. Really appreciate what you're doing for us, man. All right, man. Take it easy. Yeeer, we out.